Hello everyone and welcome back to Sportlights. I'm Charles and I'm holding forth for Frank, your regular host on this channel. Today we're diving into what promises to be a compelling Champions League matchup, Chelsea versus Benfica on September 30th, 2025. Now, these two sides last met just a few months ago at the Club World Cup, and Chelsea crushed Benfica 4-1 in extra time. But as we all know in football, what happened then doesn't guarantee anything today. Benfica have transformed, Chelsea have reshaped their squad, and the dynamics are completely different. In today's episode, we'll compare both squads, assess change, dig into advanced stats, and explain why Chelsea can't just assume a repeat of June's result. Let's get started. So, stick around as we compare June's Benfica to September's Benfica, dig into Chelsea's summer transfers, run through some advanced stats, and explain why this game could be one of the most intriguing fixtures of the Champions League group stage. Flashback to June's clash. Let's start with June 28th. Club World Cup in the US. Chelsea beat Benfica 4-1 after extra time. Benfica leaned heavily on veterans. Ángel Di María orchestrating attacks, Andrea Belotti leading the line. They had experience, but not the legs to keep up with Chelsea's intensity. After 90 minutes, the match was level, but once it went to extra time, Chelsea's younger squad simply ran them off the pitch. That game cemented the idea that Chelsea had Benfica's number. But here's the trap. Football evolves quickly. This is not the same Benfica Chelsea are about to face. Benfica's evolution. Since June, Benfica have changed dramatically. Key departures. Di María and Belotti have both moved on. The veterans who carried the attacking burden in June are no longer part of the setup. Managerial change. In mid-September, José Mourinho took charge. Love him or hate him, Mourinho brings structure, discipline, and a refusal to be underestimated. Younger core. Benfica are now leaning on pace, energy, and pressing. Players like Manu Silva, Heorhiy Sudakov, Gianluca Prestianni, and defender António Silva have stepped into bigger roles. So Chelsea won't face a tired, predictable Benfica. They'll face a fresher, hungrier, more disciplined side. Benfica's recent matches, let's talk results. On September 16th, Benfica lost 3-2 at home to Qarabağ in the Champions League. They were 2-0 up inside 16 minutes but collapsed, conceding 3 goals. That showed a lack of concentration and fragility under pressure. Mourinho's debut followed, a 3-0 win over AVS in the league, restoring order and belief. On Tuesday, they drew 1-1 with Rio Ave, conceding in the 91st minute, again pointing to lapses in focus late in games. And just last night at the Luz, Benfica beat Gil Vicente 2-1. They weren't at their absolute best, but they got the job done, showing resilience after the Rio Ave slip-up. So Benfica's form is mixed. Dominant in Portugal, shaky in Europe, but still improving under Mourinho. Advanced Benfica stats. Let's dig deeper into the numbers. XGF, expected goals for, is approximately 12.8 this season. They create chances consistently. XGA, expected goals against, is approximately 4.7 overall, with XGA per match approximately 1.03, meaning they do allow opponents decent looks at goal. In possession, Benfica averages approximately 64%, showing control in most games. Shots approximately 16 per game, with 11% conversion rate. Defensive duels won, around 55% success rate, not elite, but balanced. So Benfica dominate domestically, but Europe exposes cracks. Chelsea must exploit those. Benfica now have more depth, more variety, and more unpredictability. Those factors make them harder to prepare for. Chelsea must exploit those. Chelsea's summer overhaul. Now let's talk Chelsea because they've had their own transformation. Nicolas Jackson has moved to Bayern Munich. To replace him, Chelsea invested heavily in the summer. Liam Delap, 30-meter from Ipswich. João Pedro, 55-meter from Brighton. Estevão, the Brazilian wonder kid from Palmeiras. Jamie Gittens from Dortmund. Mamadou Sarr, Strasbourg. Mike Penders, Genk. Dário Essugo, Sporting Lisbon. Kendry Páez, Ecuador. This means Chelsea are not reliant on a single striker anymore. They've got depth, pace, creativity, and flexibility across the pitch. Likely Chelsea 11 versus Benfica. Goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. The defense has Reece James, Sarr, Colwill, Penders. In the midfield, we have Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Essugo. Chelsea's attack has João Pedro up top, flanked by Estevão and Gittens, with Páez drifting between lines. That's a youthful, exciting side, but one that still needs chemistry. Chelsea's numbers and weak spots. And how do Chelsea's stats look compared to Benfica's? XGF, expected goals for, is around 10.5 so far in the league. XGA, expected goals against, is close to 7.2, meaning they concede more chances than Benfica. Turnovers under pressure. Chelsea average around 9 per game when pressed in their own half. Pressing, PPDA, is approximately 12, solid, but not among Europe's elite pressers. Defensive duels won, approximately 52%, which suggests their backline can be targeted by quick strikers. So statistically, Benfica are dominant but still not flawless, especially when pressed late or forced into transitions. So while Chelsea have creativity and energy, their defense is still gelling. Benfica's pressing could force errors. Tactical matchup. Here's how it sets up. Benfica's strengths: possession control, pressing with young legs, and Mourinho's organization. Their weaknesses: concentration lapses, conceding late goals, and occasional defensive errors in Europe. Chelsea's strengths: new signings add flair, pace, and unpredictability. Their midfield trio can dominate transitions. Their weaknesses: too many new faces can mean disjointed pressing, and their defense is still vulnerable when forced wide or under quick counterattacks. So, the tactical battle is clear. Chelsea must avoid turnovers in midfield, and Benfica must sustain focus for 90 minutes. The margins are thin. So, what's the takeaway? Chelsea's 4-1 win in June means nothing now. Benfica are evolving under Mourinho. They've beaten Gil Vicente last night. They're showing fight, but they're still learning. Chelsea's squad overhaul makes them dangerous, but also a bit unpredictable. This clash could swing either way. For Chelsea, underestimating Benfica would be fatal. For Benfica, sustaining intensity for the full match is key. Who do you think has the edge? Chelsea's new stars or Benfica's Mourinho-led revival? Let me know in the comments. This has been Sportlights. I'm Charles, and I'll see you next time for more Champions League breakdowns. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.